Today I'm going to talk about the autistic advantage, or advantage of autism is probably the best way to say it, of expertise. Now what I mean by that is a lot of people with autism, usually have like some sort of expertise in a field or an area. Now I don't mean like this big misconception where innately someone with autism is just a genius, like Hawking's level genius. I mean that a lot of time it's to do with intense interests, which is something I've addressed in a previous video. Now what happens is when someone with autism or ADHD, but in this case let's focus on autism, has an intense interest in a certain field or in a certain subject, they can very quickly become experts in that field because their interest kind of allows them to become hyper-focused on it. It keys them into all the details. It shouldn't be too hard to understand typically, because anyone who's interested in something tends to know everything about it. For instance, if you really like a certain TV show and you've watched it multiple times, then when someone asks you questions about it, you're going to know all the answers, or at least 90% of them. Now that's the same thing with autism. The difference is, because of how the brain processes information for someone with autism, it's kind of like you kind of process the information quicker. It doesn't just stick, but you want to build on it. It's almost like an obsessive interest. And that expertise just kind of overtakes a lot of aspects of everyday life. Now that's where the challenges come in, because the problem is if you are hyper-focused or hyper intense or obsessed about a certain subject or a certain skill that you are trying to learn about or improve day to day, even when you're at home and you're not at work or you're not at school, then it tends to get in the way of certain daily routines that you need to keep in place. For instance, it's not uncommon for people with autism to forget things like to shower or to eat, simply because their brain's too focused on an activity they feel like they just want to do now. They have to do it now. There is no way around it. And so usually common and basic daily routines get forgotten and misplaced. And that can of course become a problem. Now if it's a showering thing, I mean that's bad because hygiene is important. But if it's the eating thing, again, it's important to stay rested and stay full. It could even affect your sleep. Now, I've said before in a previous video that both ADHD and autism have an effect on how you sleep. But that's going to get worse if you have a certain interest that you are allowing to overtake time when you should be resting or should be sleeping. Now, I'm guilty of that. Many times. I love writing stories. That's one of my intense interests. And when I write stories, it's just, I have to keep writing. When I really hit that nail on the head, when I'm in that hyper-focused moment, I gotta keep going. And I will forget that I need to eat. That's happened before. And I will forget that I need to have a shower, or I will forget that I need to do something important. And either I need to be reminded and pushed to do it, or, well, or it's just simply forgotten. And that's part of the issue, because a method of overcoming that is just, if you're someone with autism, it's worth having a daily routine that you need to get into the habit of, routinely sticking to. So say you always have a shower in the morning, or you always have a shower at the night. It doesn't matter if you want to put a specific time for that to happen, or if you just want to put basically morning or night, but try to remember it and stick to it. And meals, again, you've got to have it written down. It's like, I will have my dinner at this time, roughly, or between this time and this time. So at least you've eaten something. Now, but besides that, yes, there's a big misconception that people with autism are just innate geniuses. That is not the case. Like any other talent or any other skill, it does need to be built on. But because of the way the brain processes information and how intense it can get, it is very common for people with autism to just very quickly gain the skills and the expertise in that field than it would be for, say, someone who's neurotypical and easily distracted or having multiple interests. However, there are also nuanced expertise in subjects, because they're not just one thing or the other. Very common, trope of autism is to say, I like trains, to explain the intense interest or expertise thing. But at the same time, there are more nuanced aspects that it can come into. So it's not necessarily just a subject or something or field of, or an area or field of expertise that you're interested in. It's sometimes also more nuanced things, like perhaps you're intense with music, perhaps you love art, something more humanity-based, more craft skills. Or sometimes it's, like I said, TV shows and video games, which, because you love everything about it, you could very easily turn that into a career based on that interest. So if you love video games and you're obsessed with video games, it's not hard to go from that to learning how to make video games or how to code them and so on and so forth. Or if you love movies, then to make movies, and things like that happen all the time. So that's where the success stories come from. And then on top of that, there's also more nuanced things and less keyed in things, where it could be something like having an intense interest in words. So not any one thing, but in words in general. Now I have an intense interest in words, and I will read every book in my house again and again and again and again, regardless of how many times I've ever read it. Not just because I may enjoy them, but even the books I don't enjoy. It's just something about words that I love. I'll read them when I'm walking about, and they're on the walls, on posters and things like that. But you could also have an intense interest in learning, meaning it's not one subject, but everything. Again, I have an intense interest in learning. Anything that I can pick up about anything, I just like knowing things. And then I get obsessed with that sometimes. And it's like trivia games, I'm clued in. I love Trivial Pursuit as a board game. And I love TV shows like the 1% Club, which is problem solving. Because I like knowing things or working things out. I like how my brain functions, how I process things, if that makes sense. Now, that also comes into expertise. So anyway, I think that's it for all of expertise as an advantage of autism. If you like the video and you want to see more, then please leave a like, follow me here on TikTok, subscribe to the YouTube channel, put your questions, opinions, requests for future videos, anything you want to when we talk about, and I mean questions like how to this, what is this, like whatever, in the comment section. I will make videos based on them. And I said subscribe to the YouTube channel and repost the video, yeah, because that is just very helpful for me and I would really appreciate it. Anyway, that's all for today. Hopefully you'll be words are mixed up now. Hopefully I'll be seeing you in the next one. Until then, enjoy your day, your evening, wherever you are, and just, yeah, I hope you have a good day. See ya.